Hi, and welcome to another Blender tutorial. I will talk about the brand new and exciting sample texture node. And I will show you how I did this. It looks quite complicated, but it's not. So let's dive into Blender. Okay, let's make an object that we can spin around. Get rid of everything and add a new one. Doesn't make sense, but anyway. Scale it down into set. Go into edit mode and make an edge selection. Select all the four corners. Control B to bevel it. Face select. Top one and the bottom one. Make an inset. Press I. Go in like that. Oh, something like that. Make another one. And now we can S to scale and set and go down. Make another inset. We can have a bit more geometry and see how it looks. And we add a bevel and a subdivision. Oh, that looks all right. Okay, so let's make the material. We can call this frame. We can make this shiny, like a metallic. That. Let's see how it looks. Looks all right. And go into edit mode again. Select the top face. Add a new material. Call this top side. Assign it. And actually I'm going to make this black, pitch black, and a high amount of roughness. So it looks deep black. This is all up to you, of course. Bottom side. And this one we make white. Turn up the roughness and assign it. Now we can see it looks a bit crappy, so that's because the subdivision surface is making this not completely flat. I can solve this by adding a little bit more geometry, like that, for example, and same thing there. Inset and a tiny bit more. All right. Okay. Let's make the grid. So we move this way a bit and add a grid object and make 100 times 100. So we get 10,000 pixels in this physical screen, whatever. Let's set this to 100 meter. Yeah. Okay, I can see the geometry node will place this object in every vertex. So let's bring up the geometry node editor and click new. We can name it Flicker or something like that. Okay. And Shift A, add a point instance. Select the object. So there you go. See how it looks. Oh, we need to scale them down. So select a point, scale, and turn this down. Oh, I'll need to apply the scale on that. So Shift A, apply scale. Easy to forget. Now it looks better. But still, it's a bit too large, right? So make them 48. Okay, that looks good. All right, now we have the grid. So let's make them spin. Control A, attribute, combine XYZ. And I'm pretty sure there are better ways to do this, but this is how I did it, and it works. In the result, you type rotation, which is a predefined value of Blender, so you cannot use it for anything else than rotation. Now you can see here in the Y, everything rotates. It looks pretty cool already. You can also rotate in every direction like this. Whoa. Looks like a mess. That's good. But now we need to map this onto an image. And here comes the brand new attribute sample texture. And to map a 2D image onto a 3D object, you need, a UV map. And you also need a value. And you can call this, as long as you don't pick the predefined values Blender use, you can call it anything you want. For example, tone, as in the color tone. And we need a texture. So hit new and go to this texture tab and select, for example, clouds. Yeah, we can turn up the contrast. So Shift A, attribute math. Set it to multiply. Let's map this tone value with a float. For example, rotation Y. We need to connect this to the Y-axis, but you don't pull a noodle over there. You select an attribute and call it rotation Y. Now you can see. But we're not ready yet. We need to trim this. So if you go bring the brightness down, you can see it's all black. No, it's not. We can flip that around 180 degrees and apply rotation there. Now we have it. Now everything is black. And now we turn up the brightness, and now it's supposed to be white, but it's not. So I turn this value until it lands where I want it. Like that. And now if we pull it down, we have black, and up we have white. Now we have a trim. Okay. Well, that could be the end of it. But I want to add another math node and set it to multiply. And I want the tone value to be multiplied with this value, this factor, and output tone. So then we have a slider to control the effect. It's good to have when you animate it. And this is a nice trick that I recently learned. Hit N, so you get into this nodes and group and input, and I can add a new input and call this factor, for example, and make the default value 1, and minimum is 0 and maximum is 1. And then you pull this value into that, and now you can reach it from here. Another thing, if you want to animate, you could of course move around the UV map, but you can also modify the UV map attribute vector math, put it before the sample text, and make that vector, and here you have the UV map, and add this vector value into, yep, the UV map. So now you can actually move the UV map like this. You can of course change the texture type into, for example, image or even a movie. That one, for example, you can see it. Now it's easier to see how the UV map is working. All right. Thank you.